Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago and 7 p.m. in New York City. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog the Scipio, joined as I am each and every week by Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. Tonight, a very, very special edition, an election edition of America's Best Podcast. What's the buzz? You expected to hear about the Beatles tonight. Sorry, folks, that's not happening. News of this weekend trumps, pardon the pun, trumps everything.
Yes.
And tonight, it is all about Trump, all about Donald Trump. Amelia, bring us up to speed. What happened on Saturday?
It was just like a normal day for him, getting ready to give his speech for his election. And out of nowhere, somebody attempted to assassinate him out of the blue. And in front of a lot of people, a big crowd. And unfortunately, someone did lose their life.
Yeah, and I think we need to talk about that kind of right away at the beginning here. And it's really, really important. You know, you guys that have been with us for a very long time, you know that we had a sports format show for a long time. And whenever someone would pass from the world of sport, we would play a 10-bell salute. Well, we will do this right now, as a matter of fact, at the beginning of the show to those who lost their lives. Let's watch this. And that was unfortunate, but necessary that we pay homage to Corey Comparatori, the former fire chief of what was the name of that town, Amelia?
Bethel Park, Pennsylvania.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And of course, also losing his life that day is Thomas Matthew Crooks. Unfortunately, he brought about his death by himself. You can call that suicide by Secret Service if you wish, or death by cop.
Yeah.
Either way, you're not going to get any sympathy from me.
Nor myself.
As much as I hate to see anybody lose their life, when you take a shot with a high-powered rifle at former president of the United States, you kind of get what you got coming, you know?
Absolutely.
You're not going to get any sympathy here, folks. And that was unfortunate. It really, really was. You know, Corey Comparatori leaves behind a wife and children. He just turned 50, too, by the way. Just turned 50 years old. And his daughter issued a statement, you know, that her life and the life of her family will not be the same anymore, of course.
No.
whenever a tragedy like that, and it was tragic, Amelia, on a lot of different levels.
Yes.
But here's the main thing I think we should glean from this, and follow me.
Hmm.
I think we should be angry. I think we should be angry that we're still talking about assassination attempts
Oh, I'm very
on
angry about that.
politicians. I think we should be pissed off that this country, as far as we have come, still wants to shoot our leaders. What the hell? That's not okay. All right? It's not okay.
Because it's not okay. I'm very angry because why should we want to shoot someone that's trying to make our country great again?
Well,
Trying
and
to
I mean, that's part of it. Yeah. Okay. And that's a
Mhm.
catchy little slogan, make America great again. But it's more than that.
Oh, of course,
It's
it's way more.
somebody trying to make a difference. And
Yes.
that's let's be honest about it.
Mhm.
He doesn't need the money,
No, he does not.
you
He
know?
said it before as well.
And yeah, he said it on the debate. He
Mhm.
doesn't he didn't want to have to run.
No,
He didn't want to have to run, but Joe Biden is
he's
such a
forced.
horrible leader, doing
No.
such a bad job
Yes.
at being president that Donald Trump, who was already president,
Mhm.
is having to jump back in the ring again.
Forcing his hand. He's forcing his hand to run again.
Well, I don't know how much he forced his hand, because let's be honest about it. If you're Joe Biden, all you got to do is be the idiot that you are, and
Mhm.
somebody's going to challenge you.
Absolutely.
It may as well be Donald Trump.
Hmm.
Now let's be very clear about something. These guys do not like each other
No.
at all.
Absolutely.
They know each other. They've known each other for a long time. And they don't like each other. And they don't respect each other.
No, they don't.
That's the important thing.
They don't respect each
You
other
can
at all.
dislike somebody and respect them.
Yes.
These guys don't even respect. Donald Trump wants
Mm-mm.
nothing to do with Joe Biden.
Absolutely not.
Nothing.
Yeah, he does not. You could even tell the last debate that they had too. They
Oh my
disrespected each
God.
other so
Dude.
many times, back and forth, back and forth. It was like
We're-
two kids at kindergarten taking each other's Play-Doh away from each other.
No, right? Well, let's talk about this weekend. Of course, Donald Trump had an assassination attempt tried against him. Let's be clear. We're going to try and go over this weekend, folks.
Mhm.
Now, understand something. The entire incident took a minute and 12 seconds. They timed it. A minute and 12 seconds. Of that minute and 12 seconds, the next 36 to 48 hours, they still had no idea who the shooter was. But the FBI, being resourceful, said, hey, folks, if you've got some cell phone video you like to share, and you got some pictures you like to share, your friends at the FBI would love to see them. And
Absolutely.
the FBI was flooded with more than 50, listen to this one, with more than 50,000 videos.
Yes.
Okay, and I want people to understand something. There were 35,000 people at this rally.
Absolutely. There was a
Outside.
lot of people.
They said it too. There were a lot of people
Mhm.
there. Okay. 35, we just say about 36,000 people.
Yes. Hmm.
Those are the people that were at the rally. Now imagine the people that didn't go to the rally, that were hanging around on the outside perimeters filming.
Mhm.
And thank God they were. Because you're going
Absolutely.
to see one of those videos tonight that changed the whole investigation.
Yes.
And we have that video. Thanks to the quick work of the pit bull who got it in right under the wire.
Right. Here.
I mean, right under the wire. In fact, you know what?
Mhm.
Why don't we do this?
Yes.
Why don't we show a little bit of news first?
Yes.
Okay? And then you and I'll talk. Watch.
Okay.
Enforcement and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter joins me now to talk about the latest in the investigation piece of this. Tom, good to see you again. Give us a recap. You and I spoke an hour ago. Where do we stand right now? What do we know about where the investigation is so far? Have we learned any new details about the shooter? I know we do have new photos of him.
That's right, Kate. So on top of the new photos, we do have some new information about where the investigation stands and about the weapon. According to two senior U.S. law enforcement officials, and of course, I'm incorporating the work of our colleagues, Jonathan Dienst and others, into this, but according to those two senior law enforcement officials, the weapon was purchased legally by the alleged shooter's father, and that is where the weapon came from. That's what they're looking into and trying to determine at this point. So that's where the investigation involving the weapon stands. You're looking at a photograph of the alleged shooter right now. And Kate, we're told that it's still very unclear what the potential motive might have been for this. There's a couple of different paths that this might go down. And of course, there's some that maybe we haven't even thought of yet. The first one, that there was just some horrific mental health collapse that could have occurred here for this individual that led him to do this, and there's no political angle to it at all. Of course, remember the shooting of Ronald Reagan. John Hinckley Jr. wanted to do that, he said, because he wanted to impress a Hollywood actress, and that's why he tried to kill former President Reagan. So just to give folks a sense of the potential possibilities here. But of course, in this hyper-polarized environment that we have in this country and political rhetoric, it is certainly possible that it could also be some sort of a political motive. So really, everything's on the table. There is not a social media account that provides some sort of clarity or any sort of direction as far as where this investigation should go that we have found, and law enforcement is telling us that they're in the same exact boat. There's no sort of manifesto, no indication of any note that was left behind, but the investigation can.
As we've been here, there's a large media presence here. You've had members of the community come and approach us, including one person who said he actually went to high school with this suspected shooter. I want you to listen to a little bit of our conversation there.
He was bullied almost.
Now, as you listen to this clip, ladies and gentlemen, and Amelia, as you listen to this, I want you to pick out something very, very interesting that this young man says. And it's going to jump right, it should jump right out at you when you hear it. So let's listen to this guy, and after the interviews are over, we'll talk, okay? Let's watch.
Almost every day.
In what way? Can you explain?
I mean, he would sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're going to see someone like that, and they're going to target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Yeah, you said he was a loner?
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because he was quiet, but like he was just bullied. Like he was bullied so much.
This was high school.
Yeah.
What did do you remember at all what they said to him or called him?
No. He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance.
That's what he was saying. He said that he was actually in the class behind the suspected shooter here, and we have some movement here where you hear an ambulance or a car horn. Excuse that background noise. But one thing that we also heard from that conversation is that when we asked what he was bullied for, what this shooter was bullied for, he pointed to his clothing. Apparently, according to this person who says he was a classmate, the shooter would wear military-style clothes or hunting clothes regularly as he was at school. So we're still learning a lot more. We can tell you investigators continue to go in and out of the scene here. We know multiple agencies are here, not just local police, but the county bomb squad. As I mentioned last night, I saw the ATF here. It's a calm scene. It's not completely evacuated. Many residents are still in their homes behind here, but you can tell this is definitely a focal point of this investigation as we learn more about this suspected shooter who, again, from what we know and from public records, does not have a criminal history, not a large social media presence. So there's a lot more information that folks are looking to learn, Tom.
Okay. What were the couple of things that jumped right out at you?
That he was bullied a lot in school. He was a loner, outcast. He was targeted quite a bit.
All right,
in
let me
school.
let me check off the list. Go ahead.
Okay,
Loner, check.
bullied, of course,
Outcast,
every
check.
day. He was,
Bullied. He was
mhm,
bullied.
yeah,
Check.
he was targeted, made fun of.
Shy. He was hold on, let me
Shy.
do that because I wrote that down. There you go.
Hmm.
Targeted. There you
Yeah,
go. Go
yeah,
ahead. What
and
else?
provocative. He was, let's see, he was a loner, outcast.
The
He was
way he dressed
the way
in
he
camo.
dressed, camo, military clothes, of course, like hunting gear kind of thing. And a lot of that stand out to me because I was a loner in school. I was bullied. I was made fun of. I sat
Well, yeah,
alone.
but Amelia, let's be honest about it.
I'd
You never
never
tried to kill a president.
I never did any of those things just because I was a loner. I was bullied. None of that came to my mind, though. Think about that. That's in the way I dressed. My mom, they made fun of the way I dressed, but my mom dressed me, really nice for school, anything like that. But they made fun of the way I dressed. But
Yeah,
that never told me, hey, go hurt somebody or go hurt this person. But you
yeah.
notice that he had three names, and a lot of the people that have tried to assassinate president had three names as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. A
So,
lot of them, and it's weird because that is, I put that together. I said, wait a minute, he had three names. A lot of the people that tried to assassinate presidents had three names.
well, it's not so much that he had three. Yes, he does have three, but so do
Hmm.
a lot of people. You
Yeah.
are, of course, I'm Angelo Thomas DeCipio. You're Amelia
Hmm.
Valerio Chapman.
Yeah.
You know, you
But
got Mickey
it's just
fucking
weird,
Mouse and Donald fucking Duck. So
but it's just weird that they,
you know what I'm saying. I mean, look, having three. Look, that's just. It's almost a precursor. Okay, but
yeah,
here's the
and
thing, though.
then he
The
didn't
thing
have
that
his
I wanted
idealism.
you to catch was
Hmm.
that he was
Hmm.
the odd guy out. He was
Yeah.
the loner. He was the guy that got bullied. That was the thing I wanted you to
Yes.
catch
Hmm.
because the young kid,
Hmm.
basically, you could hear in his voice.
Hmm.
He said, he was bullied like so bad every day, like
Yeah.
almost like he felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
But
But
then,
one.
you got to ask yourself, Mill,
Hmm.
how sorry do you feel for a guy with a high-powered rifle on top of a building,
Yeah.
aimed at your head?
Yeah.
You're
And
not going to feel too sorry for
no,
him.
of course not. And what they didn't say in there as well is that he was very smart in school. He had good grades.
Very smart in school,
Hmm.
kind of a weird guy,
Hmm.
kind of an odd guy. He did like his father used to take him, fishing and hunting. Um,
To
his
the driving
family
range.
had, were like outdoorsy people.
Yes.
So they had outings where they would go hunting and
Yes.
fishing and stuff and a lot of people do that. A lot of
Hmm.
father and sons do that.
Hmm.
You know, my father and I never did that because we were in the city and we didn't have any forest in the city.
Right. And he was
You know,
registered Republican.
yes, and I want to
Hmm.
talk about that. And I'm glad you
Hmm.
brought that up
Yeah.
because I have something I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have a video, folks. You're going to see it tonight where Thomas Matthew Crooks, interesting name, isn't it? Crooks.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that too. Thomas Matthew Crooks is a guy, interesting character, because I guess he knew what he was going to do, and he made a video, a very short manifesto. You're going to see it tonight, where he says, "My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump." And then he says, he looks at the camera and he pulls his glasses down and he says, and I quote, "You got the wrong guy." And then he puts his glasses back on like that.
Hmm.
Interesting
Yeah.
Interesting. Why would he say you got the wrong guy? Well, before we speculate, let's watch more of this, folks.
Dr. Joseph Mine now, a doctor from Grove City, Pennsylvania. He was standing just 10 yards from Corey Comparatore when he was shot and killed. And Dr. Mine then helped carry Corey's body out of the bleachers. It was Dr. Mine's first time attending a Trump rally. And Doctor, I am so sorry for what you witnessed, and there but for the grace of God. But you carried him. You saw him hit. You saw him hit in the head. You saw him die, and you took the photos of the bleachers, which is where Corey's body fell when he was hit. I'm warning people; these images are extremely graphic. But Corey went to this rally because he supports Trump. He wanted to be there. He went for a nice Sunday afternoon with his family, and this is what happened. Dr. Mine, can you tell me exactly what happened as you saw it?
So I was attending the rally. I was actually in the folding chairs that were situated on the other side of the barrier, just in front of the left bleacher, at the very end of the bleachers to the left of the stage. I was recording President Trump on my iPhone in my right hand, and, the way the angle where I was sitting, President Trump's head was, covered by the right screen of the teleprompter. So I was leaning in to get a better angle to get pictures of him while he was speaking. But, there was information that was being projected on the Jumbotron to my left. So, as I was holding my iPhone in my right hand, I looked at the Jumbotron. Just as I was glancing down from the Jumbotron and, moving my head from left to right, that's when I noticed gunfire. It was a hot, muggy day in Pennsylvania. Immediately, there was vapor trails of bullets right in front of me. Just above me, and then there were seven gunshots, relatively loud, quickly. All 7 gunshots were fired just over a second, or maybe under a second and a half. And as I was changing my vision and moving my head from right to left in my left visual field, I noticed a man in the bleachers, where the gunfire was coming from. I assumed that the gunfire was coming from behind the bleachers. It sounded about 100 meters distance. He was hit in the head and killed instantaneously. And as I continued to look from left to right, in my right visual field, that's when I noticed that one of the vapor trails from the bullet struck President Trump. Just before the bullet struck him, the moment before President Trump looked from right to left, and I saw the vapor trail of the bullet slice the top right portion of his ear.
So you actually saw.
Let's stop it there for a minute, because as this doctor is from, by the way, this is Dr. Joseph Mine. Last name is spelled M-E-I-N, Mine. He pronounces it Mine. Dr. Joseph Mine is a surgeon from that area in upstate Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh, in that area. And he happened to be in the VIP section. He was invited to guest. And he's, as I said, he's a surgeon, and he knew immediately that this bullet struck Corey Comparatore in the head. And there wasn't much that, even being a doctor, there wasn't much he could do.
No.
And that must have been a horrific feeling, knowing that you're trained to save lives.
Absolutely.
And there's not a goddamn thing you could do for this guy. Not a damn thing you could do to help this guy other than pray that that the Lord above, that drops down a miracle.
Yes.
But I guess it was, his turn, his look, tomorrow, as my father always used to say, tomorrow is promised to no one. So enjoy the day.
Yes.
And
he was
Corey Comparatore didn't have the opportunity to enjoy that day, because shortly after he got there, he was killed.
Yeah.
A guy went out with his wife and kids to see a president speak, a once-in-a-lifetime thing for a lot of people, and never got home.
But he shielded
Never
his
came home.
family. That's what they said, that he was his shield for his family.
Well, yeah, and that's what happened. He threw his body on other people, not realizing how fatally wounded he was.
Yes.
I wanted to stop it there because I wanted to talk about what we were looking at.
Yeah.
As the doctor is talking, you see Donald Trump speaking, and he turns.
Yes,
He turns to his right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God he did.
Yes.
Because that bullet grazed his ear. Now watch this. Watch the body mechanics, folks.
Yes.
Okay. Here's the bullet trajectory. It's going like this, like literally to his ear. If he turns his head like this, boom.
Right there in the temple.
Right there in the temple.
Yes.
Okay?
If he had moved any more.
Here's how it goes. Watch. Here, you turn your head here. Boom. It's what, right? You're looking at it. Donald Trump is probably the luckiest / most blessed human being God ever put on this earth, because he walked away with nothing but a grazed ear.
Absolutely. He's the luckiest person, because
He
if
is
he had
the
moved any
luckiest
more.
man alive.
Yes.
Okay. That kid, a 20-year-old kid, call him what he is. Okay. Because he ain't a man.
No.
A 20-year-old kid came within 2 centimeters, folks. 2 centimeters of taking out a former American president. How fucking scary is that shit? Okay? That's some scary stuff.
Absolutely. Very scary. I mean, think about, and he would have lost his life as well, along with the firefighter.
Along with any number of people. Now, I want you to think about something, Amelia. He's standing there. There are people behind the president, right?
Yes.
There are people behind the president. There were 300 people behind him. Let's say if he God forbid, if he would have got hit.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Those bullets didn't stop. They kept going.
They kept going, and they could have hit him anywhere.
Untold casualties. You're looking at maybe 50, 60, maybe 100 casualties, because that guy just kept firing.
Yes, he just kept firing, and who knows where else they could have hit the president if the president had moved.
You don't know, because a stray bullet will go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
It will go anywhere.
We had a case here in New Jersey. Listen to this one. Listen to just how weird bullets are, where they will go when they're fired. We have a city not far from me called Camden, New Jersey. It had a very high crime rate at one time. It's gotten a lot better. Camden, New Jersey they used to call it the shooting gallery because everybody had a gun. One night, a car full of kids, wanted to be tough guys. They were doing drive-bys.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, wait, let me tell you what happened. They're shooting, and they're just shooting, right? A bullet goes from the street to the 3rd floor apartment in an apartment building.
Oh my gosh.
Pierces the window and ends up 3 inches from a baby's crib.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not even shitting you.
Oh my goodness.
And if you think I'm kidding you, go online and look it up on Google. Camden, New Jersey shooting barely misses baby crib.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even kidding you. It was within inches of a baby.
Oh my.
A stray bullet went from the street level where the car was up to the 3rd floor apartment and went through the window and ended up that close to the baby crib. They found the bullet lodged in the wall, sticking out of the wall. Can you imagine that?
Oh my gosh.
So let me tell you what kind of damage a high-powered rifle. By the way, they're saying, we now know, we believe they're saying that the rifle belonged to Matthew Crook's
father.
Thomas Matthew Crook's father, is what we're being told. His father, they say, is an avid outdoorsman, a staunch Republican, and by the way, Thomas Matthew Crooks was a registered Republican, but you would never know it by the video you're going to see in a few minutes, because it puts shivers up my spine, folks.
Oh, yes.
Just remarkable. It was absolutely remarkable. I want you to take a look at this. Watch.
He had been shot. I just want to play what you shared with us.
You see those people pointing?
Yes.
They're pointing up on that building. You're going to tell me what all the police, all the military, National Guard, all the Secret Service, you're going to tell me that nobody saw all these people pointing up on that building?
Dr. Mine, I know that Dr. Compatore's whole family was there and that he died protecting them. He had literally thrown his body on top of them to protect them. What did you see in that moment?
It's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. The heroism that was displayed that day. Absolutely remarkable. Now, what we're going to talk about next, and then we're going to tie all this together. Then I'll do a commercial break. We're going to be here for a very special show, ladies and gentlemen. So stay with us, and we're going to be here for a little while, okay? But take a look at this first, and then we'll talk.
It sounded like her soul was just crushed.
Doctor, thank you very much.
It was just a horrific scene.
Yeah, Jose, I want to share some new reporting we've just obtained recently. And I'm going to walk you through what we've learned. So just behind me here, we've been talking about this all day. That barn you see with the open door, that's where the Secret Service snipers were, where they exchanged gunfire with the would-be assassin. Under the American flag, that's where Donald Trump was speaking. We've just spoken with a homeowner who lives in a lot next door to that area. So where you see this tree line, okay, that's about 150 yards from where former President Trump was speaking. This homeowner describes essentially an area that was a free-for-all. This is outside the security perimeter, right? Exactly where the would-be assassin climbed up on the roof of that glass factory. This homeowner happened to be watching the rally in this area outside the perimeter. Again, just 150 yards. The would-be sniper was over her head, firing towards former President Trump, and then Secret Service was firing back. This is the map you see right here. So essentially, that gunfight was happening over her head. And the reason why I bring this up is because she describes an area that there was, quote, no security. There was a woman riding around this area on a horse with a Trump flag. She shared a photo of that. She said people were just walking right up to the fence line. She shared another photo with us of how the fence was secured. It was secured with zip ties. Essentially, if anyone would just cut that, they could have run right towards the stage. Obviously, at that point in the perimeter, the Secret Service would have stopped them. But one of the most interesting things is she tells me that her lot is right next to where Trump was speaking, and the Secret Service never came to talk to her pre-rally. They never asked her about anything. They never were set up in her area.
Did you hear what the reporter said, Amelia?
Yes, I did.
Let me repeat in case you guys missed that little gem. Okay? The reporter said, and I quote, "The woman whose property is next to the rally said no one from the Secret Service or the FBI came to see her. No Secret Service, no FBI, no police. No one even asked her about her property,
Right.
how close it was to the rally.
Right.
You could spit and hit the stage, okay? You could spit and hit the stage. In fact, in that last clip that we saw, you're looking at the woman's property right behind.
Yes.
Right behind the stage. That's where he's reporting from. And you're going to see it here in just a second, because there's the American flag right behind him. That flag that was hanging over President Trump's, stage and when he was giving a speech. You're going to watch this and listen to what he says.
Afterwards, if the Secret Service or the FBI has spoken to her, they still have not spoken to her. And she was right there where that exchange of gunfire was happening. She's incredibly upset. She's horrified at what happened. She said it was a jovial mood here, that people were in great spirits. A lot of people had come to this area outside the perimeter to watch Donald Trump speak from the side, again, about 150 yards. And again, her point being there was no security there. She saw one local police car, a cop car, in a parking lot, but that's about it. And she just doesn't understand how this could have happened this way.
I mean, Tom, this is, so just to underline what you just said. So the person you spoke with has her land adjacent to part of the area where the former president was going to be speaking, and some of the fencing was closed with zip ties.
Amelia, I want you to look at this map. It should send chills down your spine.
It does, because it's like, so no security, nobody was. They should have had all of that secure where nobody could go in and out.
I want you to see. Now, you tell everybody. How many yards does that say?
It's let's see, 148 yards.
148 yards. Okay.
Right.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
It's the size of a football field and a half.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that big.
No, it's not.
I want you to think about something. You know what a football field looks like. Your husband loves football.
Right.
Right?
Right.
A football field's only 100 yards.
100 yards. That's it.
That's it. You're looking at the space between a football field and a half.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
The rifle that Thomas Matthew Crooks shot, his father's high-powered rifle, is akin to a sniper rifle because it can shoot up to 400 yards. Do you understand what 400 yards is?
Yes.
That's like 3 football fields long. You get what we're saying here? Okay? I told you, you could spit and hit the stage. Look where the stage was. Look where the body was found. Look at the woman's property.
Wow.
It's right there.
So close. It's like
so close you could feel it.
Yes.
Just like President Trump felt that bullet whiz by his ear. It was so close, he grabbed his ear and he had fucking blood on his face because the bullet went through his ear. And you think what we're talking about, folks.
Yes.
You're talking about one of the luck, not one of, you're talking about the luckiest man, the most blessed man walking the earth right now is Donald John Trump. You understand? That man came within a pubic hair of dying in front of you on live television. Okay? I don't know about you, but I don't want no more Kennedy situation, okay? That was
exactly. We can't have that again.
We cannot have that again. Watch this.
It was closed with zip ties. That glass factory has a large lot and a lot of field area right in front of the tree line that is behind me. Now, that is where the would-be assassin climbed up. Crooks climbs up the building, and he gets in his position and he starts firing towards Trump. Something else interesting, she said there was actually a security guard from the glass company, right, that was pushing people away from the building. It's unclear then how Crooks was able to get up on the roof and the security guard never saw him. But essentially the picture she's painting is that anyone could walk up, get right up to the fence 150 yards from a former president of the United States running for office right now and essentially do whatever they want.
Wow.
Okay. The reporter asked a very interesting, very compelling question. Very compelling question. The security guard for the glass company, by the way, Thomas Matthew Crooks was on top of the roof of AGR, was called something Glass Resources,
Right.
American Glass Resources. Okay, they make glass.
Right. They make glass.
Like
there.
you know, window glass, car glass. They make glass.
Mm-hmm.
That's a glass company. Okay, and they hire people in the area. But if you look at where it is, it's out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, it's not a big glass company. It services that area, right?
Right.
And Butler, Pennsylvania. And it's a very rural area. There's a lot of farmland. There's a lot of agriculture, but you also need glass for houses, and
right.
You need glass for your cars, and if your window breaks and all that stuff. The question was, how did he get on top of the roof? And the guard shooing him away and telling everybody, they go away. You can't come around here, right?
Right.
How did he get up there? Well, simple. We found out something. There are two ways to get on the roof. Okay. You can get on the roof from the inside of the building, which you go into the front door, and the steps go to the top. It's two sets of steps that go up. There's a landing, and they go up again.
Right.
Okay. Remember something. It's not a two-story. It's not a two-story building. No. It's a one-story, pretty much warehouse.
Right. It's a warehouse.
Okay. It's a warehouse, basically. And in fact, there were people there, Amelia. You're going to hear them tonight.
Yes.
Talking about there's a guy up on top of the barn, quote barn. They thought it was a barn. Okay. They didn't realize that it was a glass company.
Right.
Because it looked like a barn.
It did. It did look like a barn.
You're going to see it. You're going to look at the building and look at the other buildings, and you'll never know it's a glass company.
No.
The only reason you would know is because of the letters on the building.
Yes.
All right, now watch. Here's what happens. We find out that Thomas Matthew Crooks, he goes around, he's already behind the building.
Yes.
There's a ladder attached to the building. It's a service ladder. Why would there be a service ladder? Simple.
Yeah.
God forbid if there's an emergency and somebody needs to access the roof.
Yes.
There's a ladder for them to climb up to access the roof. Simple stuff. A lot of buildings have them. We have them here.
Yes.
All right. You could get to the roof that way, or from the inside by going up the steps, up the landing, up to the roof.
Right.
And there's the door you open, and there's the roof. Okay. Now, so Thomas Matthew Crooks makes his way to the roof. He sets himself. Now, you watch it, you're going to see video of it. It's remarkable. He gets up there, and he's crawling like army style on his elbows. You're going to watch him do this. Okay? It's amazing.
Yeah, that's
Whoever
something like
that video deserves to be awarded.
Yeah.
They should be given something for for this amazing
The way he
video.
does that, I saw it's like something a hunter would do, getting ready to catch his prey.
It's more something a military guy would
Mm-hmm.
do in a field.
Yeah.
They call that, Amelia, in the military, they call that the bear crawl. They call it a bear crawl, right? Because you're using basically your elbow.
Yeah.
You're going to see that tonight. But I was fascinated when I heard that. I thought to myself, you know what? Man, this guy he scoped this place out.
Yeah, he had to.
He spent some time researching. He spent some time. First of all, what's he got going for him, Amelia? What's he got going for him, this guy, Thomas Matthew Crooks?
Absolutely nothing from what I see.
No. No, he's got a lot going for him. I mean, he don't have anything going for him now because he's fucking dead. But what did he have going for him? Think about the area.
A lot of clear shot, basically.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for. He had a clear shot. That's exactly what I was looking for. He had a clear shot. What else did he have?
I wonder if
Here's
he
what
knew,
else. Oh, go ahead, Mel.
I wonder if he knew exactly where the stage was going to be, or if he knew somebody that told him where the stage was going to be. I wonder if he asked around. No?
I was waiting for that one. I'm glad that you brought it up. I got the answer to that for you. He spent the Trump's rally was there on July 13th on Saturday.
Right.
He was there at the field, the fair. They call it the fairgrounds, the Butler Fairgrounds. Okay.
Right.
So he was at the fairgrounds several days before that, watching them set up the stage.
Oh, I see.
Watching the layout. He's not a dumb kid.
He wasn't. No, he was not.
He was not a dumb kid. He was smart. Because this kid at 20 years old had sniper skills that he came within a pubic hair of assassinating a president within millimeters. I mean, like just centimeters. You know? But what we have found out that what he did, he scoped the area and what he had going for him. Here's what he had going for him. A clear shot, knowledge of the area, access to the roof, and the other thing he had going for him, anonymity. Nobody knew who the hell he was.
Nope.
Well, guess what, Thomas Matthew Crooks, wherever you may be residing right now, may God have mercy on your soul, and I mean that in every true sense of the word. Because after this one, you're going to need it, brother, because you killed some people. Anyway, don't get me on my soapbox. Because what happened here, ladies and gentlemen, is that this guy, this nobody, this guy that got bullied, this weird guy that was always a loner and a shy guy and kept to himself. The guy who the best gift he ever had was anonymity. He's not anonymous anymore because the whole world knows the name Thomas Matthew Crooks. And I feel bad for Mr. and Mrs. Crooks, his parents who are still alive, who now have to carry the burden not only of their son's death, but the death of the man who his son caused. Not to mention injury to a former sitting United States president and possibly future president once again, but to two other people who are still in the hospital in Butler, Pennsylvania. Thank you, God, that they're recovering. They're getting better every day, thank you, God. But two people almost died. Two guys. We're talking about, I'll tell you who they are. a 57-year-old former sheet worker, metal sheet worker, and a 74-year-old grandfather who just wanted to see the president.
Oh, no.
But they're okay. Well,
They're in our prayers so that you will get better.
Absolutely. But this is what we're talking about, folks. We're talking about, man. I'll tell you what, Amelia. Let's do a commercial break. We're going to be here for this. Is an extended edition, ladies and gentlemen, an extended edition of What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. Let's take a look at our friends from Shopify, and we got some special news for everybody tonight.
Just wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got ding!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life
and become your own boss,
build it on Shopify.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? That was a nice short one tonight.
Yes.
Beautiful. We have a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell everybody now while we have a couple minutes to do this. We have a special guest joining us on the show Thursday night, and it's a biggie. It is a biggie. This man is 95 years old.
Wow.
He's 95 years old, and his name is George Schlatter. If you guys don't know who George Schlatter is, well, let me say this to you. Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Tiny Tim, Goldie Hawn, Joanne Worley, Alan Seuss, Vicky, what was her name? Oh, darn, I forgot her name. Judy Carn. There was another Vicky. I forgot her name already. I'm sorry, Vicky.
Would it have been from Vicky, from Mama's Family, maybe? Vicky Lawrence?
Oh, no, not Vicky Lawrence.
Oh,
No, she's actually here performing right now, as a matter of fact.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she sure is. At the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, by the way. If you're in New Jersey, go see Vicky Lawrence. Say hi. The Mad Dog sent you. But I want to show you a little bit about George Schlatter, and just take a look at this. This is George Schlatter. You'll know exactly who he is.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Tonight from practically everywhere, it's Dan Rowan and Dick Martin's Laugh-In. Will you shut up?
Hi, my name is George Schlatter. I'm laughing because I just finished writing a book called Still Laughing. And the reason I'm laughing is because the book is full of my adventures that I had with stars and shows, successful shows, and times that I got fired. It's full of a lot of stuff like that. I laughed writing it, and hopefully you'll give it a laugh reading it.
George means a whole bunch to me. He popped into the studio, saw me doing a barefoot tap dance, and he never seemed to forget me, and he was hoping to find me or run into me again and offer me the show.
George's career and all the risks he took and the unbelievable disasters they avoided to pull off some of the greatest events on television.
And George said to us, get in front of the camera. I want you to do anything you want. Anything you want. Heaven! And we did!
And of course, the thing that I love about George is he never changed. It's like he has the same mustache and goatee. It's like if he was a baby, came out with a goatee and mustache.
George is one of those guys who are frequent at looking for talent, and
And he would talk to you like you were a regular person, which seemed unbelievable because normally I'd be, well, how are you, Mr. Slaughter? No, call me George. I can't call him George. He's a big star,
I don't think anybody gets me more than George or appreciates what I do. So, like a week where I don't get a letter from George, I'm like, oh, did I fuck up this week? No, he's when he's your fan, really, there's no better feeling in the world.
So I then read the card wrong, right? So I started laughing like that, like, oh God, I said, George, could I do that again? And he was up in the booth, and I heard, that was just fine, Goldie.
And in looking back through it, I realized what a good time I had, and I hope that people in television today are having as much fun as we had then. It was all about having a good time and laughing and saying things we shouldn't say, couldn't say, and then we're glad that we did say. Anyhow, get a chance, pick up Still Laughing, and hopefully you'll have a laugh too.
That was George Slaughter.
awesome.
Hard to imagine he's 95 years old.
Wow.
And he's still sharp. He's on it, man.
I remember watching Laughing.
Do you know how many stars that man created? He started his career in 1959.
Wow.
He worked with everybody from Judy Garland to Tiny Tim to Eminem. I'm not even shitting you.
I remember the telephone
and
operators.
everybody in between. And everybody loves him. They love him. Amelia.
Yes.
What about the motive here? What about the motive?
That's what I was going to ask you about. What was the motive?
Well, ask me. Go ahead.
What was the motive about? I mean, because he was Republican. I don't understand. He voted Republican. He donated money.
That's a really good point. Here's my point. And when I talked about this earlier, and thank you for bringing it up, because we can discuss this at length now. He's a guy who you heard from his own mouth.
Yes.
I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. But yet he gave money to the Republican Party.
And he's Republican.
And he's a registered Republican. Here's my question. What came first?
Yeah.
His hate for the Republican Party or his love for the Republican Party?
Exactly.
And what the hell did Donald Trump ever do to this guy?
I mean, yeah, exactly, because he voted Republican from what I understood. I mean,
do you know, can I tell you something? Here comes the conspiracy, folks.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, Leon, I know you're out there watching this, Leon, because you watch us every show that we do.
Yeah.
And I know you're out there, so this is right up Leon Barfield's alley. There are people that are saying that Thomas Matthew Crooks didn't do any of this. They're saying that the guy that you're seeing in all these videos works for the company. That he works for the company. You know who the company is? The company is the CIA. That's
I
what
heard
they call
that too.
the CIA. They call them the company.
Because they said that the sniper didn't get the cue to get him until way after from the Secret Service.
Well, I've heard that, but then again, I'm going to show you something that kind of, refutes that, because you're going to see something. Then I don't know. It looks pretty quick to me.
Yeah, because allegedly the guy that took him out said that he didn't get the from the Secret Service take him out until way after.
Without giving too much away, let me tell you a little bit about how. Because I have a cousin that works for the Secret Service, and that's all I can say.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say his name, where he's at, where he's. I'm not. None of that. I will tell you though, legit, straight up, I have a cousin who works for the Secret Service. And all I can tell you is that they have code words.
Mm-hmm.
They have words, they're called trigger words. Okay.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't hear that word, then you have to stand down.
Exactly. You can't do anything until that word has been
Cannot
said.
act unless you have been given a direct order
Absolutely.
to do so.
Absolutely.
Right, that's all I can say about that. You're going to see something tonight. Here's Leon. I knew he was out there. I
Right.
knew Leon was out there.
Yeah, he made a comment earlier when he said, I remember reading
I
about
heard
that.
it was now, you know what, Leon? I got to say something about that.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the first time I heard that.
Yeah.
Since Saturday.
Yes.
I've been hearing that this was a stunt. It was a publicity stunt. It was a way to get Donald Trump elected. Let me tell you something. If that's what we're talking about, the man almost died if this is a stunt.
Yeah, but you know who's been saying that? The Democrats.
Well, the Democrats are the ones that started it. Are you shitting me?
Yeah, that's who's been saying it. And let me tell you
people
something.
say, Amelia,
Mm-hmm.
because I think you and I are on the same page here.
Yeah.
People have been saying, well, let me say this. I'm not going to say people. I'm going to say Democrats.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been
Democrats.
saying there are a number of folks that are saying Joe Biden is behind this. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You're giving Joe Biden way too much credit.
I know, right?
You're giving him way too much credit.
Pre-K mind could not have thought of this. I'm sorry.
This is not Joe Biden, but I'm going to tell you who this is. This is absolutely, hands down, bank $1,000 on it, Mad Dog. This is absolutely the Democratic Party.
Yes.
Or what Amelia and I call the Democrats.
Exactly.
Because they're little fucking devils in disguise, these motherfuckers.
Yep. Well, they're not in disguise anymore because they're coming out of the woodwork just like that.
Oh, they're coming out of the woodwork like ants. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
They are coming out of it's ridiculous how they're coming out of the woodwork. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, folks. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Yes.
So you've been warned. The Mad Dog and the Pitbull say, hey, we told you. When if you heard it, you heard it here first. And you know what? That goofy bastard Mad Dog and that crazy woman Pitbull, they told us, yeah, I'm telling you.
And you know what else I heard as a rumor is
tell me
this,
what
that that somebody might have missed this time, but next time they won't.
I heard that. Let me tell you something. Donald Trump's profile. Sorry, I flipped my microphone. Donald Trump's profile just went up exponentially.
Yes.
He's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Democratic National Convention is in, I believe, August, right?
Yes.
This week is the Republican National Convention. They're going to nominate Donald Trump for a second term as president. He will choose his vice president this week. It might be a woman. It might be somebody of Indian descent. It may be somebody of Middle Eastern descent. I will tell you, whoever he picks is going to be controversial because Donald Trump will never shy away from controversy.
No.
And then I heard it might be Jesse Ventura, and I heard it might be Tucker Carlson.
Yes.
So, but with Donald Trump, you know, it might be the ice cream man. I don't know.
You know what? Why not keep it in the family and choose Donald Jr.?
Donald Jr. would be a great vice president.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. Let's see what we got up here. Leon, hey. Rosie's a Trump supporter. I'm a libertarian, though I'm leaning toward Trump. You better be leaning.
Go,
towards
Rosie.
the past,
Make
we'll
him
beat
lean.
the shit out of you. I'll send Pitbull over to pound your ass.
Right.
Anyway, all right, Neil.
Mhm.
So let's talk about this. The motive. What's the motive?
That I don't really
Well,
why
let me
would
ask you this way. Instead of saying that, I'll take that question back.
well
Instead of asking you what's the motive, I'll ask you like this.
Mhm.
What's the win? What's the gain?
if he's a
what's the end
Republican,
game
he
here?
hates Republicans. Would he have been a Biden supporter in disguise, or would he not agree with something Biden that Trump might have said, or maybe
I mean, that's a really good point, Neil. Can you elaborate a little bit?
maybe he
Because you're
hated the
making a
debate.
good point, a really good point too, by the way.
Maybe he hated the last debate that they had. Maybe he agreed with something Biden said.
It could be.
Uh,
That last debate I've said it on the air. I'll say it again. It was the debacle of a debate.
Yeah, it's
I said it
something.
before, folks. It was a debate debacle.
And
Horrible.
whoever was feeding Biden some information,
And
you
we
try to make
showed
him
that
look
on the
smart,
air, by the
but
way. We showed Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know what Amelia's talking about. No, she's not crazy.
no, I'm not.
And we saw the film on this show. I showed the film,
Yes.
and you heard the audio.
Mhm.
Joe Biden was being fed. He was being fed what to say.
Yes.
And I want to tell you how he can get away with it. There was no audience there.
And he had one of these earpieces, but you can't see
He
it.
had an earpiece. Well, so did Trump for that matter. But, Donald Trump, he pretty much took us out anyway at the beginning. I digress. I'm going to go back to what I was saying. Yeah. So, I mean, but what the end game is it, I don't know, is he a Biden guy in disguise? I know it's a valid point.
Yeah.
Was he trying to just derail Trump's campaign? Yeah, maybe. What people didn't realize that happened Saturday, and I'm going to make the prediction right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make the prediction right now. They just gave the election to Donald Trump.
They handed it right over to him. He just did.
I said that Saturday. As soon as I saw that, you know what? He just won this election.
Absolutely, he did, because
just won the election by default. He didn't have to do anything.
Or maybe his
And
parents.
I'll tell you what didn't help him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you what helped him a lot. When Joe Biden came on TV and gave his little speech, his little, press conference, he said exactly what America wanted him to say. They heard what they wanted to hear. And he did something that he never did before. He said, I called Donald and wished him well. He never called him Donald. He always called him President Trump.
Yes.
He always called him President Trump or that guy or this guy. He never one time did he call him Donald by his first name.
Right.
But he called him Donald.
And that's when you lose an election
like that, Amelia, that you have to listen for.
Yeah, when you lose an election.
Little nuances, little giveaways.
Yeah, when you lose the election, you always call the president by their first name. Like, I called him called him Donald to wish him well. That's the mistake he made. Right there.
Well, look, there. The president group is a small group.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Biden, Trump, Bush, Clinton, Obama, and as these, Jimmy Carter. He's still here, but Jimmy Carter is just, he's so far gone He's just, I don't know how he's still living, to be honest with you.
He's in hospice care, from what I understand, barely
He
hanging on.
can't eat. He's being fed. He's in hospice
Mm-hmm.
care. I'm just, I pray that, God does the merciful thing for President Carter, who was a good man, by the way. Jimmy Carter was a good man. I think they're all good men. Let me just say that. I don't think there's an evil president. I think the people around presidents make them bad. Okay? Because if you look at Joe Biden from 15, 20 years ago, when he was vice president.
And when he was alive. I'm still going by that. Sorry.
Well, let's not go down that rabbit hole. That's another show.
That's another show, but
people are going to go down to the saying, what is she talking about? Don't pay any attention to that woman behind the curtain, folks. We'll talk to her later. Oh, you had to open your mouth.
Hey, that's another show. But
anyway, well, let's just assume. Humor me, will you please? Oh, this is what you want to know why I go God every week.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway, so Joe Biden is not an evil guy. He's not a bad guy. Okay. I think he surrounded himself with really bad people, with people who don't understand the office of the president. Not only do I think, and I believe, that they don't understand the office of president.
Right.
I don't think they respect the office of president at all. I think what we need to start talking about here is the clear and present danger of Joe Biden leading this country, if you want to call it that, leading it, or taking this country further down the toilet, because that's pretty much where it is right now. It's in the fucking toilet, and we're spinning. And I'm waiting for Donald Trump to stop that flush.
Right.
And put his hand on it so the water will stop moving.
Put a stopper on it and make it just
because right now it's just that we're swirling down like they call in Italy the bangarole. The bangarole means it's the fucking sewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wondering why he would want to have Biden to be president, and again makes my skin crawl, because Biden would be the worst president again to have in this country. And the people that wanted him to be president, like he promised this, he promised that. I'm still waiting for all the promises he promised them.
Forget about what you got to understand something. See, that's
it's
what
ridiculous.
No,
because Trump needs to be president again.
Politics, Amelia. Listen to me, and I know that you don't understand politics, and you've said it before. But you have to understand something clearly, though. A politics or, political persuasion aside, a politician, first of all, politicians are people who can't get jobs. That's why they get into politics, because they don't know what else to do. Okay? And we are stupid for electing them and paying them more than we're paid. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I want you to think about what I just said. You're going to elect someone to office who does not have a job. You're going to give him a job, and you're going to pay him 5 times more than you're making. Okay? That's how stupid Americans are. Okay? But that's how smart our people are. All right? That we could come up with a system like that. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, number one. Number two, in order to understand the political mindset, you have to first understand getting elected. You'll say and do anything you need to do to get elected. And that's what they do. They all do it. Democrat, Republican, Independent. All of them. And sometimes they actually do something when they get elected. You know? Sometimes they actually do something.
Yeah, sometimes they do, and it's for the better. So
yeah, and sometimes you end up with Joe Biden, who doesn't know what the hell to do because he can't remember his name half the time.
Right.
Anyway, this is part 1, folks. Tomorrow night we'll be back with part 2. Amelia, what do we got coming up tomorrow night? I just kind of told.
So we're gonna have some more videos for tomorrow. I do know that, right?
Oh boy, do I! Yeah, I'll bunch them too. yeah. Well, tomorrow night, you're going to see a number of various angles that the FBI received from anonymous tips and people on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days. You're going to see a number of videos that were released. Okay.
Yeah.
Among them, you're going to see Thomas Matthew Crooks alive and well and making his way on the roof, crawling on the roof, setting up his gun. You're going to see that.
Yeah.
I promise you, you're going to see that.
I cannot believe when I saw that, and I was like,
yeah.
What?
And then you're going to see Thomas Matthew Crooks with his brains blown out from the Secret Service. Okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a pretty graphic shot. Because those guys, they don't miss. Okay? Thomas Matthew Crooks, thank God, missed.
Thank
God
he missed.
And I literally believe that God moved Donald Trump's head out the way.
Yes.
I believe that.
Because the way he was talking, he would look this way and then look that way and then look straight ahead to the audience, just to make sure he got everyone.
I will bet you, if you ask President Trump, Mr. President, did somebody move your head? I'll bet you he would say, Angelo, somebody did move my head.
And if you notice too, there
You're
was
fired.
part that he usually gets real comfortable because he'll take off his shoes. During the and
I heard him say that. He said, "Let's talk about that a minute."
Yeah,
let's talk about.
And
that.
How your shoes sometimes the shoes make you a little bit taller. And
Yeah.
I think that if he had been just a little bit taller, that bullet would not have missed.
Well, he did say not once but twice.
Yeah.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
People don't. Let me tell you what Amelia's talking about. This is something a lot of people don't know. Unless you follow Donald Trump and you're like a Republican like we are. Donald Trump, when he gives a speech, likes to take his shoes off.
To be comfortable. Well, I mean,
he does. He wants to take his shoes off.
I'll be comfortable. He
stands there. You see him. He didn't have a tie on. He had an open collar.
Yeah.
He had his jacket on, open collar, white shirt. He had his Make America Great Again hat, his MAGA hat, which, by the way, somebody has right now. And I'll guarantee you it's going to end up on eBay. I'm going to show you the journey of the hat. I put together a video. The journey of the hat. Watch. You're going to see it tomorrow night. But the other thing is that when he went, he knew what to do.
Yes.
Because the first thing the Secret Service says is, Mr. President, if you hear any popping noise, hit the ground. And he did. He grabbed his ear first because he got hit.
Yes.
And then he went straight to the ground, and they were on him. Did you see how many Secret Service people pounded on him?
Oh, yeah. Like at least
they were coming from all directions. There were like, I counted at least 4 that were directly on top of him. And then 3 women Secret Service agents that were with him. You watch. There were a lot of women Secret Service agents there that day. There were a lot. I think I counted at least 5. And there were probably 5 women and probably 5 to 7 then.
Yes.
And then there was the National Guard up in Butler, Pennsylvania. And then, of course, the local police up there.
Yes.
Which, they all have a protocol. They all have a job to do. But the Secret Service, they run the show. That's you don't do nothing. You got to go through them first.
You have to go through them first. Absolutely. Their priority.
Always top priority. All right, Amelia, this is great show today. Amazing show. Hell of a show.
Absolutely. And then I will have some comments about people about the shooting of Trump, of what they said. It's not going to be pretty what I have to tell you. I will wait.
Well, I want you. You know what I would like you to do?
Yes.
I would like you to write that down on paper and deliver that tomorrow night as Amelia's editorial.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do that?
Okay.
Why don't we start a new segment on the show? Amelia's editorial.
It's not going to be pretty what I have to tell these people.
In the pit with the pit bull. I just came up with that off the top of my head. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining on this Monday night, July 15th, 2024. I am Mad Dog DeCipio. She is Pitbull Chapman. We are What's the Buzz? America's best podcast. We'll see you tomorrow night, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Take care, folks. We love you all.